Many Americans are beginning to discover that a wide range of food products sold in the US are prohibited in Europe. This difference stems from the fact that European regulations on food additives tend to be much stricter than those in the US, where looser rules can lead to the presence of potentially harmful chemicals and carcinogens in everyday foods. American manufacturers are often permitted to include substances that European authorities have banned due to serious health concerns. A major contributor to this regulatory gap is the U.S. Food and Drug Administration's generally recognized as safe, or GRAS classification. Additionally, GRAS was designed to streamline the approval of commonly used ingredients with proven safety records like salt or vinegar. This allowed companies to bypass the Food and Drug Administration's lengthy evaluation process and bring products to market more quickly. However, over time, the food industry has taken advantage of this system, a little like Boeing taking advantage of self-regulation handed to them by the FAA. Many food companies now use the GRAS label to sidestep rigorous testing, introducing a wide array of additives, some of which may pose health risks into the American food supply. Expanding on this danger, the FDA under Donald Trump has temporarily paused a major quality control program that tests fluid milk and other dairy products, citing reduced capacity within its food safety and nutrition division. This move marks another significant disruption to the country's food safety oversight. It comes in the wake of mass departures from the Department of Health and Human Services, the parent company of the FDA, following a sweeping federal workforce reduction initiative spearheaded by Donald Trump. Approximately 20,000 HHS employees have exited as part of this effort. In addition to the dairy testing suspension, the FDA has also halted several active and developing testing initiatives this month, including programs aimed at detecting avian flu in dairy products and identifying foodborne pathogens such as cyclospora, a parasite known to cause gastrointestinal illnesses. As of this week, the FDA has officially suspended its proficiency testing program for Grade A raw milk and related finished dairy goods, according to an internal email circulated by the agency's Dairy Safety Division into its network of laboratories. Grade A fluid milk refers to milk that complies with the highest sanitary standards and is commonly sold for direct consumption. The FDA's Moffitt Center Proficiency Testing Laboratory, which has overseen the dairy testing initiative, is no longer equipped to carry out the necessary testing and data evaluation functions. This facility operates under the FDA's broader Food Safety Division. The Trump regime has also floated the idea of slashing $40 billion from the agency's budget, a proposal that has sparked concern among public health experts and food safety advocates. FDA proficiency testing programs play a crucial role in maintaining consistency and reliability across the national network of food safety laboratories. These quality control programs are vital for labs seeking to uphold accreditation standards and ensure accurate, comparable test results. In an internal communication, the FDA reassured participating laboratories that it is exploring alternative methods for maintaining quality standards in the upcoming fiscal year. The pause in testing raises broader questions about the capacity of federal agencies to uphold public health protections in the face of budget cuts, laboratory closures, and workforce reductions. As the FDA navigates the current transition, the future of some long-standing food safety programs remains uncertain. As many as 20,000 employees have exited HHS, including scientists, inspectors, and senior officials following a mass restructuring effort. The downsizing, part of Trump's broader agenda to dramatically reduce the federal workforce, i.e. Project 2025, has shaken multiple divisions within the agency, including the FDA's food safety branch. One of the most immediate casualties of this disruption is the FDA's proficiency testing program, a cornerstone of the Food Emergency Response Network, which ensures that labs across the country can accurately detect contaminants in the food supply. The FDA confirmed that staffing losses, including the departure of a quality assurance officer, an analytical chemist, and 2 microbiologists, have effectively crippled its Moffitt Center-based testing lab. As a result, the agency will suspend the PT program through at least September 30th, delaying quality control testing for harmful substances such as the parasite Cyclospora in leafy greens and glyphosate, a controversial herbicide in grains like barley. The implications of the suspension are far-reaching. Proficiency testing plays a vital role in ensuring that public and private laboratories meet national accreditation standards. Without these tests, laboratories may struggle to validate their results, weakening the overall reliability of the U.S. food safety system. No alternative provider is currently positioned to offer similar testing services at the necessary scale, leaving a critical gap in the nation's food defense infrastructure. When I'm writing and preparing to record a video here on 5 Minute News, staying focused and getting into the zone is crucial, but it's not always easy. I used to try music playlists to listen to in the background, but I found myself getting more distracted than focused. Then someone introduced me to Brain FM's Focus Music, designed by scientists and musicians specifically to enhance concentration. I gave it a shot, and it worked surprisingly well. That's why I decided to partner with them as a sponsor. With Brain FM, I feel more productive. It's easier to start challenging tasks, and I can stay in deep focus without distractions. The Brain FM team received a National Science Foundation grant for their work related to ADHD, and the app includes a dedicated ADHD mode. They offer great sleep sounds too that I have even started using at night. Brain FM is the only focus music with real peer-reviewed research. It just works. You can try Brain FM completely free for 1 month. Just visit brain.fm/5 to get started. The FDA has also paused work on initiatives aimed at improving its ability to detect avian flu in dairy products and pet foods. The agency has been in the early stages of refining its testing protocols for milk and cheese, but those efforts were halted in early April due to a lack of personnel. In February, the scope of the staffing crisis became more visible when HHS announced plans to terminate 5,200 probationary employees across several of its agencies, including the FDA, Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, and the National Institutes of Health. That same month, the FDA's top food official, Jim Jones, resigned in protest. In a letter explaining his decision, Jones said he could no longer carry out his mission of reducing diet-related illnesses and limiting harmful chemicals in food under an administration that, in his words, had disdain for the very people we need to safeguard public health. He added that continuing in his role would be fruitless in light of the cuts. The FDA is also considering suspending most of its routine food safety inspections unless Congress intervenes with emergency funding. Several anonymous federal health officials said that only higher-risk inspections, those involving facilities with prior violations or known contamination risks, are likely to continue. The FDA's proficiency testing programs, including those conducted through the now deactivated Moffitt Center, are foundational to the integrity of the U.S. food system. These programs ensure uniform standards across laboratories tasked with identifying pathogens, toxins, and chemical residues in food products that reach consumers nationwide. Food safety advocates and public health officials warn that the cuts and suspensions could severely undermine the country's ability to respond to foodborne illness outbreaks or contamination crises. Meanwhile, millions of Americans rely on these behind-the-scenes systems to ensure that the food on their tables is safe, not to mention how the Trump regime is forcing Europe to buy its food products that previously it would never touch, using blackmail effectively over trade deals. The situation underscores broader concerns about the Trump regime's hands-off approach to federal oversight, especially in areas where science and public health intersect. As laboratories, researchers, and regulatory staff leave or are pushed out, entire programs risk being mothballed, leaving gaps in protections that the public has long taken for granted. I'm Anthony Davis. You can find me on the 5 Minute News YouTube channel and podcast, on Wednesdays co-hosting Uncovered, and on Sunday on The Weekend Show with Midas Touch.